Gary, it's FA Cup weekend. We'll be looking ahead to that shortly. But let's start with your thoughts on Tuesday night. Are you pleased all round with what you saw?
Yeah, really happy. I think when we go into those EFL Trophy games, there's a number of different things we want to try and achieve from the game. First thing, obviously, is to win the game. As always, that's the most important thing. But then there's other aspects within that in terms of getting players minutes, first team players who are maybe not playing as regularly as they would like, and also younger players, getting them involved in the team, getting them minutes, showing them the level that they need to get to. And I think on Tuesday we ticked every single box in that regard. And obviously the icing on the cake was Demi coming back after 364 days out and getting the winning goal. So really happy. Important that we got through the group as well as league winners to get the home tie in the next round. And it sets us up into the FA Cup on Saturday.
Of course, it's fantastic to have Dimitri Mitchell back. And of course, his goal came from Vinnie Harper, who's another player who'd had a while out.
Yeah, and Reece has missed, a bit of football as well. He came on second half and controlled the game, really showed his personality and getting on the ball and starting to dominate possession, and I thought we were much better in that second half. But yeah, Vinny, Demi coming back after a long time out. They've spent a lot of time in the gym together, and that hard work and that time is something that no footballer wants to go through. But when you get to the other end of it, I think it makes you a better person, a more resilient person, and hopefully they can really bring a spark to the team in the coming weeks and months.
And of course, Jay Bird getting his first goal as well. Does that put these players that we've just mentioned in a really good position now for a spot, at least within the squad on Saturday?
Yeah, definite. Jay's another player who we knew would take time in pre-season. He's come, from a level where he didn't train every single day at Arbroath. He was Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. He done extra work on his own, but we knew physically the loads that he would now do or now need to do week in, week out would be difficult. He's picked up a few niggles along the way. I think we've managed him extremely well as a medical staff. The sports science staff have done really well to get him to this level. Now we need to keep him there. That's his first 45 minutes he's had since he's been at the club. I think his performance levels have been extremely good in training, and he showed on Tuesday night, what a threat he can be, not just inside the box with his goal, but outside the box. His physicality, his hold-up play, his understanding was really good. So delighted for him as well, and hopefully many more minutes and goals ahead of him as well.
The FA Cup then, of course, I know you have some fantastic memories in that competition. We're going into Saturday hoping that it can be the start of Exeter City creating more memories.
Yeah, it's a competition, obviously. I was part of the Wigan Athletic team that won it. But it's also, I think, as a young kid, it's a competition that you always watched. And when I was young, many, many years ago, Craig, there wasn't as much football on TV, and an FA Cup final day used to start at 8 o'clock in the morning. You would get the previews, you would get interviews from the hotel of both teams, you would get them going on the bus and driving to Wembley, and it was a real special event. So probably younger kids now don't understand that feeling of the FA Cup, but people of my generation that was brought up with that, I think it's really special. And then to obviously go on to win it and kind of walk up those stairs and lift that trophy, in front of 45,000 Wigan fans was a special day and something I'll always remember. And I think the big thing for me is every year somebody creates a story. Every year there's a non-league team that can go and do something. Last year it was
Maidstone.
I keep forgetting Maidstone.
Yeah.
I just remember their manager Ella Kobe, in the celebrations, and they went to Ipswich and got a fantastic result and done incredible things, and it becomes a really big story. So I think there's always 1-2 teams can really create a big story. We had it ourselves, 20 odd years ago when we played Manchester United and created that special moment in our club's history where we got the replay. It got us a real financial boost to help the club, and still gets spoken about. Hopefully this year we can do something really special that in many years to come, they still talk about this FA Cup run and this team in that same regard.
What do you make of our opponents, Barnet? Then they've had an excellent season in the National League and are right up the top, going for promotion.
Yeah, it's a really tough game. I think when the draw comes out, you always want a home draw, and then you probably want a team that's struggling a little bit in whatever league they are in. And we've got a team that's doing really well. I think the league they're in is almost irrelevant because they are playing with confidence. They'll come here with real belief. They know how to win football matches. We analyse them the exact same way we would any team in our own league. So we know how difficult a game this is going to be. We know their strengths, we know their weaknesses. We'll show the players today, tomorrow. We'll work on that, and we'll be fully prepared for a really difficult game. And I think the big thing for me is our mentality, our attitude to the game has to be spot on. If it's not, then it will be an extremely difficult game. If it is, then I know at home we can be a really dangerous team and we can go on and win the game.
In a game like this, then, is home advantage even more important against a side lower down in the pyramid?
I think it helps. I think to play them away would be really difficult in their home stadium, their own environment. I think to come to SJP, hopefully it's full. Hopefully it's really loud. Hopefully they feel the intensity of our crowd, because when we are at our very best, like we were probably second half at Reading in terms of both players and supporters together, then it's a really good stadium and a really difficult stadium for away teams to play in. So hopefully on Saturday we get that atmosphere and we get that performance level to get us through.
We've spoken about those players who have returned from injury, those that are unavailable for the weekend and into the future, one of those being John Leofeco. You've got an update on him?
Yeah, John Lee's had a scan. It's slightly better than we thought. He won't need surgery, but he will probably be out for about 8 to 10 weeks with a hamstring injury, which is disappointing, but like I said, could have been a lot worse. So we will work hard with him to get him back on the early side of that. And he's a player that I think has a big future and has done extremely well. So he needs to work hard now on his own with the medical staff and get prepared for that kind of difficult work ahead of him to be ready to come back in a similar condition, because he's been a big player for us at the start of this season.